everyone, it's Ali from Vintage Page Designs. Today this is a quick video all about making pages for your handmade book. So before we start, let's just go over a few terms that you might read about in books or online, just so you know what people are talking about. So when you make a book, you fold pieces of paper together. Well, those pieces of paper that you fold together are called folios. When you fold them together into a block like this, it makes a signature or a section. People call it different things, I call it signature. And then when they're all stacked together like this, this is what's called the text block. So if you come across those terms when you are looking at other resources, at least you will know what they mean. The most important thing to bear in mind when making signatures for handmade books is the grain of the paper. I covered this in a previous video, so I will include a link below. But let's take this pad of Canson recycled sketch paper. So I found this at the craft store, and I think this will make a great book. First of all, I'm going to check for my grain. Rip out sheet. And it turns out that the grain goes in this direction. So there's no way I can make a book that's folded like this. So what I will need to do is cut this in half. I'm just going to tear it for now so you can see. I'm going to cut this in half or tear it, and then this is going to make my signatures, obviously more than two pieces. So this will make a book which is 6 inches high by 4.5 inches across, which is actually a very nice size. So that is something to keep in mind when making your books, the grain of the paper. Now when you fold your pieces or your folios into signatures, something else to keep in mind is the thickness of the paper. This paper is 50 pound and it's really quite thin. So when I create my signature, I would probably use at least 8 of these. However, I have a piece of paper here that's considerably thicker. I think it's 80 pound, and so I would use less folios to make my signature, probably only 4 or maybe 6. So that's something to keep in mind, is the thickness of the paper that you use in your signatures. The thinner the paper, the more folios you can include in the signature, but the thicker the paper, the less you're going to want to include, because you don't want thick, sort of fat, bulky signatures. You want sort of nice, evenly sized ones. So let's make ourselves a signature. I'm using a 9 by 12 sketch paper. I want to say it's 80 pounds. And I'm going to count out 6 of them. 5, 6. And here is probably the second most important thing aside from grain, is when you fold your folios into a signature, you do it in one piece. You do not fold them individually, then slide them together. You actually create it as one whole piece. So you will jog the ends of your paper on the sides. I find it helpful to do this standing up, so that I sort of a high table, so I can look down above to make sure that I'm lining up these edges with this edge here and these corners. Just looking at sort of a bird's eye view is kind of helpful. And then you gently, once everything is jogged, you gently line everything up. Let's just do that one more time to make sure we're lined up. Do it as best you can. Crease with your fingers and then grab your bone folder and give it a really good crease. Once you've made your signature and then made a stack of others, the next most important thing is to put them under weights overnight to press them, or about 4 hours, because it presses down the paper and makes for a much neater book. Let me show you an example. Here's a signature that I pressed overnight, and it's nice and flat. And here's a signature, the same paper, the same number of folios, and it's quite bulgy. So this makes a huge difference when you're making your book. You really do want to press it, otherwise these signatures are going to spring open and create a less pleasing book. So make sure that you always press your signatures for 4 hours or overnight. So here's the signature I made earlier. It's been pressing for about 4 hours, and you will notice along this edge here the paper kind of pushes forwards, and this is called the foredge creep or foredge overhang. So it's important for us to trim this off. These edges here are nice and neat because we did them straight out, we got it straight from the pad, but we will need to trim off this edge. And I'm going to give you some tips for trimming off this edge. You always want to use a very sharp knife, put a new blade in, use a self-healing cutting mat. Don't do it on book board because it'll dull the blade. And you always want to cut against the metal edge. So we're actually going to use a metal square here, but you could also use a metal ruler. And you want to measure in 3 places because if you only measure in 2 places, you're always going to get a straight line. Just say we measured here and here. 2 points joined together are always going to make a straight line. So we want to measure in 3 different places, and that way we'll make sure that this line is perpendicular to the top. Let's stack this up. Let's say I want to trim this to 5.5. I'm going to mark at 5.5, 3 places. And the reason I'm using the steel ruler is so that I can line up against the edge. And that's just another way to make sure that this cut is at 90 degrees and is square. So I line up the 3 dots, grab my knife, and you want to do several shallow cuts like this. You don't want to do one heavy cut because you're more likely for the blade to jump and cut your finger and also to kind of waver. So just do several shallow cuts and push the pieces out of the way like this. And press down. I'm pressing down hard on this mat. I'm also standing up so I have some more leverage. If you were sitting down, you wouldn't have quite as much leverage to cut. So that's my final cut. So you see, it's going to give me a really nice clean edge along there. Alternatively, you may want to have torn edges. And there are several ways to do that. Some people use a long metal tear bar. So just imagine that this is a long metal tear bar. And it's kind of stainless steel, it's slightly beveled, they tear against it like that. You could probably also use a ruler. And then they tear against it. Some people fold over, go under here with a paper knife. It's kind of a slightly blunted knife. Personally, I don't do either of those. I just fold my paper in half pretty carefully. So I'll give it a bone fold, and I tear by hand. One tip is to moisten this edge. Some people sort of rub a sponge just along that edge to give like a soft feathered look. Personally, I don't. I just use my hands and a bone folder. I gently tear in sort of small tears towards me. And then you'll notice you have one sort of straight edge and one torn edge. You can either put all the torn edges at the top and have this flat at the bottom, or you can alternate them. I like to alternate them so they look sort of even, but that's a matter of personal preference. So here we have a folded signature. So I would press this overnight. And one more tip, if you wanted to trim this down to something smaller, which I will often do, you're going to trim off the top first, or the head of the book, then the foredge, and then the tail or the bottom of the book. So you would measure in 3 places here and trim this off, measure 3 places, trim this off, measure 3 places here and trim off there with a knife. If you have a big heavy paper cutter, which I do, it makes life a lot easier, but most people don't have access to a heavy duty paper cutter. So this would be another way to, if you want to tear down your signatures and then cut them smaller, like cut there, and cut there. But frankly, it's often easier if you want nice smooth edges to buy the paper in a pad that's very similar to the size that you want to work with. So that's how you make great pages for your handmade books. The 3 most important things to remember are: make sure your grain runs parallel to the spine, make sure you press your signatures overnight under a heavy books or a weight, and finally, when you fold your signatures, do it all as one unit and not individually. If you follow those tips, you're going to wind up with some really nice handmade books. Alrighty, have fun. Leave any comments or questions below, or join us in the Facebook group. Thanks, bye bye.